TK421, wire 2 at your post. TK421, do you copy?
Hello, this is Pilot TK421, leaving my post to bring you my thoughts on where I think the game is possibly going to be going in the future. Keep in mind that these are just my thoughts, and I could entirely be wrong on the whole thing, but you know, I have a little bit of an imagination, and I like to think about the possibility of things, and well, first of all, for this video, you will need one piece of aluminum wrap, that's aluminium for some of you, and it needs to be 1 foot wide by 1.5 feet long. Widthwise, fold the aluminum wrap in half, making sure that the top edge is even with the bottom edge. Next, take the top right corner, fold it from top right to bottom left, stopping about halfway across, and do the same with the left hand side. Next, there should be 2 flaps of foil left at the bottom edge. Fold the top one up over the 2 flaps you folded earlier, and do the same for the opposite side on the second flap. Got that done now? Cool. Now that you have a tinfoil hat, put it on. Let's take a trip. Alright everyone, here's my theories on the game and its direction, and it's based on things that I've found in-game that are already in-game. And as such, they are just theories, but I will take you through some of what I figured out, and as such, the theory is entirely based on my interpretation of the information that I have found and should not be taken as fact. So, with that being said, let's get started. First off, most of the information comes from legendary pilot stories and videos put out by Pixonic, and some stuff found on the War Robots wiki. Second, I stress that this is my interpretation of things, and I could be entirely wrong about everything. First off, we have the cosmetic UI changes such as color-coded microchips based on tiers. Motherships are also color-coded in the same way as are drones, with the possibility of robots and weapons being added later on, according to one of the War Robots developers' videos that they released on their website. I can't remember which one it was, but it was not that long ago. It was, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago or so. Those types of elements are, yes, seen in other Battle Arena games, but it pretty much started, if I recall correctly, with RPGs and MMORPGs. Just as a easy way to identify loot in the game that you might want to pick up without having to actually, you know, look at it or pick it up to look at it, so that you can, you know, easily decide whether you want to actually pick it up to sell it or just for when you're trying to sell stuff in your inventory. But yeah, then they added motherships as a place to house your robots and titans, which I might add is the equivalent of giving a teenager a new car and a full tank of gas, but not having any roads to drive it on. Just yet. And they also got all of the platforms on one server now. So that means that, you know, everybody's going to be getting, you know, updates relatively around the same time, I hope, and stuff, but that's basically what they're working towards, is getting everybody to be able to play together, squad together, do all sorts of things that you would normally do together, only with cross-platform between mobile devices and PC as well. And, well, that's some of the additions that they've made to the game so far that sort of point in the direction that we might be headed towards some sort of possible MMORPG type situation where we've got some sort of possible common threat that we'll have to unite against. And with that being said, I will duck on out, and I will be right back. Alright, and I'm back, and this is the part where most of the information actually comes from the legendary pilot stories, like their backstories and whatnot, and some of the information comes from the War Robots wiki, which I will actually leave a link for in the description of this video for you all if you want to head over there and check out some of the information that's on the Wikipedia for War Robots. But basically it all started with the cataclysm that sent everyone to Mars or orbit around Mars. Apparently Evolife was the first to colonize Mars. They basically rounded up whoever was left on Earth and took off in a bunch of arcs to Mars, and they ended up in the Noctis Labyrinthus deep on Mars. Apparently Evolife basically assigns people a profession and are then genetically enhanced to do only that one profession, which also means that one person is pretty much physically incapable of doing another person's job. Now, somewhere along the line, I think that Evolife found something on Mars that led them to some leftover alien tech that they didn't understand, due to no one really having the genetic disposition to sort of merge alien tech with human tech. So they contacted the DCS, who could, pretty much keep it a tight secret because of its militaristic type leadership. And the DCS basically then at that point in time sent an agent to help. Evolife then sent out a team which consisted of Alika Renner, Cormac and Soren DeVos, and a random merc named Thomas, with a DCS agent named Stanislav Chen, who could understand what they were seeing because the DCS had too found something on Mars. And the DCS also had the shield and power technology to help aid in the mission to retrieve any alien tech that they could possibly find. During the mission, they were attacked by unknown attackers, but managed to get out a message telling of the attack as it had happened, and then abrupt radio silence. All were presumed dead. Then, a little later on, we find a person named Talamacri, who had information on the giant spider walker and random malfunctions and robots seemingly moving about unpiloted. It was in one of Pixonic's videos way back when Titans were first introduced, if I recall correctly. He had actually hacked into the DCS and got the information. And with that being said, I will duck on out quickly here and I will be right back. Hold on. Alright, and I'm back. And next we fast forward a little bit to Earth, where Kyle Rogers, Inquisitor pilot, and his Eagle squad were out on a mission when they were attacked by unknown attackers. Kyle's squad was wiped out, with him barely surviving and making his way to a secret lab complex where he found nanobot technology. And after repairing an old Inquisitor, he returned alone. For 2 years after that, he researched what had happened and eventually figured out that he had to go back to Earth to figure out more. According to what he had found out on Mars, Kyle's squad was attacked by lots of poorly built robots with no identification marks. On Earth, Kyle Rogers' Hawk pilot finds out about a DCS outpost south of California that gets regularly raided by robots of the same description, but if one of the robots is downed, there's no pilot ejection. Kyle, while working at the DCS outpost, then gets warned off by a giant four-legged spider robot he could barely dent and told to go back where he came. So, here's what I think happened. I think the team sent by Evolife and DCS to retrieve alien technology were attacked by possibly some sort of alien biomechanical tech and taken over by the alien tech. They did make it back to the Evolife colony with some tech that Evolife then began manufacturing into enhancements for robots such as absorber shields with the help of DCS, and enhancements for humans in the form of cybernetic implants, not realizing that there was a semi-dormant alien AI controlling them that could activate at a moment, taking over its host. Now you might be thinking, but TK, absorber shields are found on Icarus tech robots, not DCS robots. And while yes, this is true, DCS did actually invent absorber shields. So how exactly did they end up being on Icarus robots? Well, that's kind of easy. Icarus was a year late getting to Mars. So they actually had to settle near the south pole of Mars, and all this is actually from the wiki. Yeah, they had to settle near the south pole of Mars, and they had to rely heavily on imports from other colonies because, well, basically where they were located, they couldn't really do much farming. And fun fact, the Icarus colonies, they live mostly in a virtual reality world and pretty much can't function without it, so kind of interesting there. Anyway, yeah, they had to rely heavily on imports from other colonies. And if you add to that Icarus is responsible for both robotic AI and teleportation drives, it's kind of easy to see why an alien AI would want to take them over. I think some of the possessed Evolife mercs with knowledge of Earth and its high-valued tech and research projects such as nanobots knew their locations on Earth that were left abandoned at the Cataclysm on Earth thanks to its DCS contacts. Apparently DCS knew where all of the good stuff was hidden. And I will be right back, 1 second. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry about that. I have to take a brief break here every once in a while, otherwise my back will start to seize up. And yeah, that's not good for me, but anyway, to carry on, I think Kyle Rogers, Inquisitor pilot, came across some of those possessed Evolife mercs when his squad was wiped out when they were on a mission that got a little bit too close to the secret lab complex. I think that the Evolife mercs were there to retrieve the nanobot tech, and they weren't expecting to see Kyle and his squad show up and saw them as a threat and attacked. And being as Kyle's team had died in the attack and there was no ejection of pilots, the possessed Evolife team, possibly even Stanislav and his team now that I think of it, seeing Kyle hadn't ejected, then assumed he was dead like the others and left, leaving Kyle to make his way to the secret lab complex, where he repaired the Inquisitor and then made his journey back home, where he learned of the attackers to return to Earth and find out what is happening. So, here's where I think we are right now. I think that the Evolife team was just sort of like a brief conclusion here, so I'm almost done. I think that the Evolife team, led by Stanislav, made it back to the Evolife colony, and once back, the alien AI slowly took over the ruling people in the colony. Because Stanislav was from DCS, the alien AI had a way they could covertly take over the DCS leadership, and because of its totalitarian rule, would be a lot easier to take over the majority of the colony quickly. But the alien AI needed the nanobot tech to repair some of its computer systems before it could take over all of humanity. Think of it kind of like a hive mind ran by a supercomputer. Right now the supercomputer is limited in processing power due to damage from sitting derelict for thousands of years, and since there's no tech support it can call for repairs, it needs the nanobots so that it can reprogram them to be able to repair itself. Once repaired, it will have the power it needs to control the entire race, which it could then easily do if the majority of the tech in existence already had the alien AI built into it. I also think that Kyle Rogers' Hawk pilot is going to soon figure out what is going on, and we will be asked to help him stop the alien AI from enslaving all of humanity. And with that, I will be right back. Alright, and I'm back. And that's about the slow and skinny of what I've figured out from the lore and story in-game, as well as some recent changes in-game. Like I said, everything I've just discussed is pure speculation and hearsay, and I have interpreted the in-game lore based on speculation and hearsay as well. I do not have any idea as to what Pixonic actually has planned, but I hope it's what I'm thinking, and it's a hybrid MMORPG with a 6 versus 6 mech battle arena as endgame content. That being said, let me know in the comments section below what you think of my theories. Like I said, these are just my theories and thoughts, and as such I could be wrong about everything. Oh yeah, one other thing. The Raker, Blitz, and Invader are all DCS robots, but did you know that when they were originally introduced, they were introduced as an alien faction robot? Just some food for thought. Anyway, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments section. That being said, I hope you all take care, stay safe, have fun, and have a lot of happy hunting.